Okay, hi everyone. My name is Debbie Kaltman and I'm from the Healthcare and Science Career Community. And I am here today with Double Demon, Erika Arias from Invenergy, and we're here to talk about her career journey. So Erika, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure for me to kind of join you here and see if I could help anybody that probably or was in the same path that I've been before. And still am, actually.
Yeah, thank you. Can you first explain what your job at Invenergy is? Kind of what do you do on a daily or weekly basis?
Yeah, definitely. So Invenergy is a private renewable energy company that maintains this high portfolio in developing solar, wind,
Mm.
and many other renewable energy kind of projects. And my role there is pretty much to act like as a middle kind of person in pulling these different teams that we have in our company and making this, projects possible from a real estate side of things.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some projects that you might work on a daily or weekly basis?
Well, I think right now I'm based in the central region of the US, and by central, I mean mostly like projects in Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri, some of those as well. So there we kind of, work on primarily solar and wind, I would say, on my end.
Cool.
Yeah.
How did you get this job and what interested you in the job?
Yeah, so this was, I think, a very lucky opportunity that I got right after I graduated with my master's, actually, in sustainable management. So I actually graduated in June of 2018 and then just took a few kind of months off and proofread my resume and my cover letter. And, I was just looking actually in LinkedIn and found this wonderful company. And also, I did have a classmate already that had graduated previously, and she also started working at Invenergy as well. So I was very interested in what type of, company it was. And also because she kind of shared the same background as I did. So I was thinking maybe I could do something there as well with my background. So yeah, that was pretty much the start of it. I looked for entry level positions or, positions that I think I could be hired for. And I, sent my application. And then afterwards, I think I was very lucky to get, a job interview with them. And I was, hired literally, I think, after 2.5 weeks.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So I don't know. I was very lucky.
yeah, that's great. What do you like best about your job?
I like that I didn't know this sector existed, even though I was, sustainability student at the
Mhm.
Pole. And I knew about, energy and renewable energy, but I guess I never knew how much work it actually took and how many different teams we actually needed, or what is, I guess, needed for us to kind of make this happen, right? So when I came into my job, I didn't really understand what was happening. And what I like about it is that I learn as I go.
Mm.
um, you're always going to make mistakes, but you learn from them, and you also learn from a different kind of area that in my opinion, like, I didn't even know existed, even though I was a sustainability student. So definitely we learn new things every single day with these projects that we have to build in a way and kind of like maintain our portfolio high. And also, I think what I like about that is that you get to communicate with a lot of different team members, and you get to experience, I guess, like meetings and phone calls, daily emails with like a broader kind of group of people that are all working for this project, not necessarily in the company, but also outside the company as well.
Oh. What do you find most challenging?
What was more challenging at the beginning, definitely, I think, in any job is you don't know anything.
Mm.
You are not familiar with what you're doing. People could explain to you, and this may work differently at different types of jobs, but I'm pretty sure you go in and you're not an expert, obviously.
Mm.
So the most challenging, or what is, I guess, still challenging for me is learning things as I go, even though I just said it was, I like that, but the challenge, that's the challenge, you have to kind of take responsibility and make these decisions where you are the person that will be in charge of your projects, in charge of maybe even leading a team or leading this
Mhm.
project. And it's challenging because you don't want to mess up. And I
Sure.
in every job you don't want to do that, right? So definitely a challenge there, where I think learning as you go is also a benefit and also a challenge, because if you do things right, well, good for you, right? But obviously if you don't do something correct, you'll make a mistake, but it's just maybe putting something on hold, or kind of putting the project in a hold, in a way, if that makes sense,
Sure.
or just slowing down the process a bit.
Sure. I think that's a very healthy perspective to view learning new things as a really great opportunity, but also as a challenge.
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely.
Yeah, so I was so excited to learn that you are a double demon. Can you tell me a little bit more about your undergraduate experience and some parts that were important or impactful to you, like maybe a job or a class or research or a student organization that you were a part of or an internship?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that I wasn't a big not fan, but I guess I wasn't engaged as much as I should have. And I always kind of give this advice to
Mm.
people that are, students, or anybody that is thinking about going back to school. I mean, I guess it could, relate to anybody really, but be engaged, I guess, as much as you can. And by that, I mean join student organizations, clubs, do internships, scholarships, even, any of that helps, because then you get to network and, network a lot, obviously. And DePaul is a really good school or university or organization that really helps you and kind of pushes you to do that and gives you that opportunity. In my opinion, I never really did take advantage of that.
Mm.
You could be very busy with classes and your
Mm.
outside life, but I think you could always like squeeze some time in there, because I knew I could. I was just, I would say, lazy. And I didn't really do that. And I feel that I could have, gotten a job really quickly, or, more quickly than I already did, or maybe a higher position,
Mhm.
or, I didn't have to wait. Not that I did wait a long time,
Yeah.
but, definitely that helps. That's my biggest advice, I guess, for anybody
Yeah.
that's, interested in that. Another thing I would say is, take advantage of your professors as well. And by that, I mean, you could always go to their office hours and say, hey, I think I'm interested in this field, and I know you know a lot about it. Do you recommend that, or do you have some internships, or, they know people that probably work in a company that could do an internship. And if they reference you, you got it already, pretty much, because that's what happened when I got like my one internship that I
Oh,
did.
yeah. Tell me about your internship.
Well, mine was a little bit different. Mine, I didn't really get it through a professor. I actually got it through a classmate, but she
Mm,
knew
okay.
this professor, right? at DePaul, and I think she was into environmental health. I'm not sure. So she just, contacted me with what's it called, a coordinator here at this federal agency. So she had done it. She had done this internship at this federal agency called ATSDR, and it's, I think, an agency for toxic substances and
Oh,
disease
okay.
registry. Yeah, I can't really remember, but it's I got an internship through her. She just put a word on for me, and I got, I sent in my email and my resume, as much information as I could, and I got it. And in that internship, what I did was I looked for like brownfield sites throughout the Chicago area where the company could potentially write, grants and get a grant for removing like any toxic substances that would be affecting not only the land, but obviously like the community, because there was a lot of, people living around there, and I guess they wouldn't even know that this was toxic.
Sure.
If it was. So first we would have to get a load, and they would have to like go in and test it. And then if the tests came back saying, yeah, there's like high risk here, then they would have to clean it up. So that was great, because I mean, it doesn't really relate too much with what I do now, but it was still like a good experience to meet a lot of different people.
Sure, absolutely. So after your undergraduate, you got your master's degree in sustainable management. I think that's really cool. I didn't even know that was a field.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the program and why you decided to do that for your master's degree.
Yeah, definitely. So Invenergy, sorry. DePaul offers this. At the time there, they did, I don't know if they still do, I'm guessing they do, but DePaul offers this like 4+1 year program.
Yes,
and then I thought, oh, that's great. And then I thought that, it was beneficial for me to take advantage of that. So what I did was, in my senior year, or my last year, I would take classes for my undergraduate. And in like, whenever I took classes, I was like a morning person, and kind of wanted to get everything done with, and then I would take classes for my undergraduate in the morning, and then also classes for my graduate degree in like the evenings. So those classes kind of counted, I would say, double for my undergraduate diploma, and then for my graduate diploma as well. So that was like my last year at DePaul doing that. And it was like, after you graduated with your undergraduates, it was like technically 9 more months after that for your master's.
Sure.
Because you had already taken classes in the night, pretty much.
Right.
So, I was pushed, I pushed myself to do that. I thought, well, 9 more months is not really that bad, and just taking in consideration what you have to do in order to get into like this other 2 years master's program, I thought it was, a win-win situation in my case. So that I decided to do that. And also because, just in 2021, the job market is very kind of tough, I would say, in a way, and getting a master's and putting that reference in your resume, it's just a plus.
Sure. Tell me a little more about sustainable management too. Like, what does that mean?
Sustainable management is, I think, a broad field, pretty much, because, you could go into so many different areas. I don't necessarily think that I went into like a sustainable management position, but the company that I work in definitely, is about sustainability. So in sustainable management, you learn about obviously different topics regarding sustainability, and what you could probably do with that degree varies. So I don't think I have a clear answer for what we do there. Because definitely you take classes in the business field,
Mhm.
which is like, accounting and finance and management and all of those good classes that as sustainability students or environmental students in
Mm.
my undergraduate was like never really exposed to that. Obviously you could take, your electives or a lot of different classes if you want to be exposed to that field. But in my during my master's classes, like I think it was great for me to take all of those classes because then I kind of had a sense of how accounting works, how finance,
Mm.
how management works, and I think with experience and having a master's, you could definitely grow into that management kind of position at your company. And I've had a lot of other classmates that directly went into like a management kind of position, which is
Okay.
great. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that was very cool. What other advice do you have for students who are interested in a career in sustainability?
I would say, I'm just going to say my experience pretty much at the Paul, and I think it would probably, ring some bells to them as well. So when I started at the Paul, I think I was an undecided student. I didn't really, and I'm going to be honest, like, I don't really have a passion for anything.
Mm.
So that complicates things a lot.
Sure.
Um, and, people could reference me and say, hey, I feel the same way as you did, or no, I don't. And I actually do have a passion, which is great. But I think up to this point, like I haven't really found a passion and that I like and that I could translate that into a job. So when I came in at DePaul, I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I signed up as a health and science, major, and I thought I was going to do something with biotech,
Mm.
which afterwards definitely changed my mind. So my advice would be like, don't be scared to change your degree. It's okay, and I guess one of my biggest advice would be for the students also, like, come in as an undecided person. If you
Mm.
know what you want to be, if you know what you want to do, and you have a passion for it, you like it, or you're gonna put through all of that, go ahead, good for you. You already have a head start than what I had. But for the students that I guess are in my situation and said, okay, I'm gonna be a science and health major. It's a broad topic. You don't know what you're gonna major in within that. I thought I was gonna be a biotech student and just work in the labs doing some crazy stuff, but I never did. So my experience was a little bit different because once you start with your classes, once you take those exams and do whatever you have to do, it's like a little bit different. Then you start realizing, well, I don't like this, or I can't do this. And it's totally okay because not everybody's going to be able to do that, right? But you always have different paths. You could always take different paths and you could still reach out to that main kind of career goal that you've always wanted. So in my case, I came in as a health and science student, and then I somehow transferred to the environmental science and studies department, I think. And I think I found a liking in that. I knew definitely the sciences were not for me. So I got my undergraduate, my BA actually in environmental studies
Mm.
with a minor in economics, because then after like sustainability, I wanted to and start learning about a little bit about economics and how that all plays in there pretty much. So that's what I did. And then as I mentioned before, like I thought just getting my master's was a plus, since for that 4+1 year. So at the end, I mean, I had 2 degrees. I didn't really know what field to go into. I just started looking for jobs that I thought I could, uh, be a good fit. And I
Mhm.
did. I found a renewable energy company that, kind of encompasses the broader aspect of what I majored in, even though I'm doing kind of like real estate related items, or, my job is kind of mostly like that. I think I'm still using my degrees, definitely.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so if you're a student that you don't know what to do, I would just say like don't give up, pretty much try to do something that you think you're going to be able to do, and it will definitely play out. Look for other opportunities that will help you out throughout your career. And birthday 25 and I'm trying to give it a try. I think, that I still have like a long path to reach, and who knows what I'm going to be doing next.
Yeah, well, that leads into my next and last question. So if I interview you again in 5 years, it's 2026. What do you hope that we can talk about your career?
What I think I'm reaching out to, and I think maybe this is a passion that I probably did have. I've always wanted to work downtown in an office surrounded by other people in
Sure.
cubicles, the computer all day. And I've reached that goal. I've always wanted to travel for work, and I've done that as well. So, I mean, I've reached that goal. I think now being in like the business world in a way, I think I want to reach grow in my company. I think I want to reach like a management position.
Mm,
I don't know necessarily if I want to go or be in the same kind of environment that I am right now, but definitely, yeah, like a higher management position. I think I would love to hopefully achieve by that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really think you will. I'm going to stop the recording in just a minute, but thank you so much.